Can I get the team news for the weekend, please?
Team news.
Yeah, in terms of injuries.
Key is out for probably 2 weeks. Everybody else is ready to go.
Is it a broken toe, and how did it happen?
Broken toe, x-rayed this week. Initially, I think everyone thought it was a bruised toe. Happened against Man United. He went away for international duty. Was bothering him a little bit. They kept him out of the friendly against Canada. But then he played 90 minutes against Uzbekistan. Traveled back, trained, thought it was, felt it a little bit, but didn't think it was an issue. And then after the game against Everton was bothering him more, and therefore X-ray. And then at this point, with the way it was bothering him, the decision to just shut it down for a few weeks.
Have you thought yet any more about January and the transfer window, whether you'll strengthen at all?
Discussions that go on every week. So I think the feeling is that we've got important games before January, but certainly the idea that we're going to look to improve our squad. Not ready to go into any kind of details, but the kind of discussions that I think take into account that we can still make ourselves better.
And have you been given any reassurances about finances that you'll have money to spend in January?
The discussions so far have been positive, that let's identify some ways we can improve the team. Let's continue the work that we're doing, and the understanding that we've got a road ahead of us that's going to require looking at all the possibilities and working the right way every week and fighting like crazy.
And which areas would you like to strengthen?
I'm not going to go into the detail right now. I think you could make cases in different positions, different parts of the field. But I prefer right now just to focus on the work that we have in upcoming games and knowing how important that is. And then as we get into January or just before January, we can make our decisions and then go from there.
Do you feel you've made progress since coming in? Do you feel you turned a corner, maybe signs in the Everton game that you turned a corner in terms of the team?
The Everton game was positive. Football's crazy sometimes. The one part you don't always control is just at the end how the ball bounces. But as far as the response after Man United, what I went to great lengths to do was to simplify the message, to make sure everybody understood the things that Swansea had done well in the past. Many of the guys had been around, and just to talk about being better in possession, talking about still defensively how we did things as a group. So the message was simplified, and now it's a positive message that says, look, you've done it in the past. We play a good match against Everton. Training has been good. We're ready to push on in a strong way, and I've been very positive with the players because I see how much they're putting into it, and now we're ready to take all of it and make it count on Saturday.
Do you feel that commitment's improved, commitment to the cause?
Let's be really clear. I think that there has always been commitment, but when you lose some confidence, and for me, things. When I simplify the message and have one-on-one conversations, it's to make sure that they haven't forgotten things that they've done well in the past, and that they remember the kind of football that's been played, and that they realize that I'm not coming in with any kind of big new ideas right now. I'm trying to make them understand that it's all there for us, and I think that helps them feel good about what we do in training. That helps them feel good about the preparation through the week, and then the ability to step on the field and do it on Saturday.
There have been a few issues again off the field this week regarding the board and the Swansea Supporters Trust. I know that you can't comment on those specifically necessarily, but does that have any effect, the off-field wranglings, on yourself or the players?
No. I say it over and over. I've enjoyed being part of this club in a short time. I love these players. I see how much they care for the club, how honest they are, and so now we're just focused on making sure that we are putting a bad stretch behind us, and it's going to happen this week. And so there's things that go on. My number one message for the supporters would still be that. Look, there are things that are out of their control and out of our control. But what we must do right now is to make sure that between the supporters and the players and the staff, we're in this together. We need it on Saturday at the Liberty. There'll be plenty of time for the other things to work themselves out. But let's make sure that the importance of that relationship between the club, between the team and the supporters carries us during this stretch. For me, more than anything, I want the players to feel that support, and I want the supporters to know the players are going to give everything for them.
And finally, from me, you mentioned it's Thanksgiving, of course. How will you celebrate it, and how does it differ being over here?
My wife and I will have a little time tonight. There'll be some turkey, and then we'll have a chance through FaceTime and whatnot to catch up with everybody. Thanksgiving is a family holiday, and it's a time when everybody's together. And over the years, because of football commitments, we've not always been together, but we've still made sure that somehow we all catch up on the day. So my brothers and their families, my parents will all be together. Michael and Amanda and Quinn and Luca in Toronto, because obviously the season's still going on. Ryan and her husband Andy in Warwick, and then my oldest daughter Carrie in San Francisco. But there'll be some good FaceTiming going on today.
Crystal Palace, obviously, this weekend, Bob, in case you hadn't realised. Obviously, their run has not been great recently. Talks about Alan Pardew's job being on the line this weekend. Does that make them more dangerous, or is this an opportunity for Swansea?
Opportunity, build on last week. So important, again, with the support of our fans at the Liberty. So we've taken all the positives from the match against Everton, focused the training in the right direction, and now can't wait to get on the field.
Can you see them as vulnerable? Is there a possibility of going in feeling like, we really have got control of this?
I think so. But my main reason for feeling that way is what I've seen in terms of the response in the last few weeks, what I saw in the first half especially, and again, even the second half, things that at times with the possession can be a little bit better, but still defensively solid. And as we looked at the game, as we talked to the players, we've really tried to make sure that they understand this is a good starting point to get ready for Crystal Palace.
What do you think has caused their demise the last few matches, Crystal Palace?
Again, I'm gonna stick with our side this week. Every team has to go through tough stretches in the Premier League. That's part of it. Everton. The press conference for me started a little bit late because there was a lot of discussion about Everton. All right, so it's an unforgiving league, you know that, and every team can have moments when it goes through a stretch where things just don't go their way, and it's how you deal with it. It's making sure that the players stay strong and positive, and that's where we are.
Very diplomatic. You've said, I'm getting the vibe from you that you really do feel that something is going to change this weekend. You've said it's going to change this weekend, it's going to happen. Is it a case, is that purely because of what you've seen on the training field and also what happened at Goodison? Or is it partly Bob Bradley laying down the law now saying, it's been great to have improving performances or individual improving performances, but now it's got to be about results. Is it you laying down the law here?
Yes, it's all of that. Again, you come into a situation, you dig your hands into it, you try to get to know the guys, you get a sense as to what's going on. And now, I think we can put it all together in the strongest, best way. The players know me by now. I'll stand behind them every second. I will stick up for them every second. But they also know that I expect a lot. And at different moments along the way, when we try to get to know each other, we have good, honest discussions, one-on-one with the group about where we are. And I think we're all in agreement now that things have turned themselves around, but now it's the final part is to make sure it shows up match day. And this week, all signs are positive, and that's the way we're talking, and that's the way we're preparing.
Is it just about talk though, or are you noticing a different vibe from them? Because we've talked awful lot, and the players themselves have talked about the dip in confidence that they've had, and it seems to have been sort of exacerbated every time with the results. But are you sensing a different vibe from them now? Is that we're sensing a different vibe from you, I think?
Well, again, you're getting a different vibe from me because I feel like now we've gone through the different steps, getting to know each other, going through some tough days, looking at things. But the response after Man United, the football that we saw, especially in parts of the first half, the feeling after the game that was, on one hand, disappointed, but on the other hand, very determined and very positive. So, if you can mix all those things, the emotions in the locker room came out in a really good way. And we've carried that into this week.
Has it been difficult at all to keep your own positivity going? Because obviously you're a man who wants to get the results in, and they haven't gone the way necessarily you would have wanted, even though, as you say, you were pleased by an improved performance. Has it dented your positivity at all?
I'm pretty positive, and I'm pretty confident, and I try every day to make sure that comes out in the players. I want them to believe in themselves. I want them to understand that in football there are times things don't go your way, and there's no time for looking backwards. It really requires a kind of strength that's not always easy to explain to people on the outside, but it requires a real strength to say, all right, let's go. And so when you're in a position that's not what anybody would want at this point in the season, and you take everything that's happened, then there has to be some moment when talk stops. We said that last week, and it turns into better performances, and then with it some confidence. And so, it would have been better to have 2 more points and to have recorded the first win at Goodison. But that doesn't take away from the good things that happened. And now this week, we've got to take it a little bit further.
And you have said it. Football can be a ruthless game. It can be an unforgiving game. Your tenure at Swansea has been pretty short so far. But are you feeling under any pressure at all?
There's always pressure, but that's part of the deal. And so I came here knowing the situation. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited about the challenge. I love working at the club. And now I want to turn it into positive effort every week, and now see a team that really is ready to push for the rest of the season to make sure that things turn around.
So you don't feel antsy if you see Hugh's number come up on your mobile?
Say that again?
You don't feel antsy if you see Hugh Jenkins' number come up on your mobile?
No, I just spoke to you at the club, so he comes to see me all the time.
Okay. Best of luck for you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Did you see you at the back?
Yeah, sorry, Bob, just a quick one from me, if that's all right. You tend to make quite a few changes ahead of each game. Are you close now to knowing your best 11, your best side? And do you think it's important to get to the stage of having a more settled 11?
It's definitely important, and I think we're closer, and I'm not going to give the 11 today, but I certainly think the good work from last week you'll see will be carried into the way we start this weekend.
And you talked a lot about the way that Swansea play, and you say you want to go back to what they were known as, having a lot of possession. Is that going to be key to staying in the division, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's important, again, that players have confidence from things that have proved to be successful in the past. And so in the middle of the season, there's not time to implement all sorts of new football ideas. But what there is time to do is to look at areas that the team did really well in the past, re-emphasize those things, make sure everybody realizes that the football message doesn't need to change. It's all there. Let's just get back to basics, do it better, and that's the way that we can push into this thing.
And just lastly, you mentioned the fact that the off-field sort of issues and stories that have been this week aren't a distraction, but would you rather they weren't there? You obviously, unity must be key at this time to feel like the whole club is working together to keep them in the league. Would you rather that things were a little quieter?
Sure, I would prefer that everybody's exactly on the same page. But my point earlier was within the team, you can't ever let any of the distractions take away from the responsibility that we have to step on the field, to wear the colors the right way. And I think that, again, supporters at different times speak up, voice their opinions. It's all fair. They are the heart and the soul of the club. But supporters also know that when that team steps on the field for that 95 minutes, the only thing that matters is what happens with the result, the kind of football. And so I'm just trying to make sure that the supporters, when we come out on Saturday, take any issues, put them aside for that period of time, let the players know that with the road ahead of us that it's not perfect, but they're going to be right with us every step, and that's how we're going to battle through.
Good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Usual embargo, 30 minutes. We'll do